right.
Hey, oh, 20 minutes. Let's see. You, front row.
So I'm pretty sure we all know that Italian fans have their own special brand of crazy.
And God love them for it.
Myself being one. And I was wondering if you had any other completely insane fan stories from any other families.
The blind girl? The blind girl?
Oh, no, that's a terrifying story. I'm not going to tell that story. The not blind girl who pretended to be blind so she could touch my face. That was weird. It's very strange to me, but that's actually, no. I have a Black Butler story. The Black Butler fans are wonderfully enthusiastic, and I love See? When this ties into Italia, actually. And again, I have to drop the F-bomb, so forgive me, all of you, but we're all adults here, right? Or we might as well be. Or you are now! I left J. Michael Tatum a little older. Weird. So I was at Otakon, which is a gigantic, like 40,000 person strong, attendee strong con. Are you? What's happening over here?
Stripping.
Who wants to earn some more charity money? Who's got one? So I adore you, by the way, that you're sitting up here just doing this. Isn't he cute, everyone? Isn't he cute? So adorable. Love his hair. That's his real hair, by the way. That's his real hair. You got feels. So I was at Otakon to premiere Italia, right? And we were there to like premiere the first like 10 episodes, and a bunch of us had gone to meet Patrick Seitz and Scott Sega, the director, and a handful of other people that worked on the show. Including Scott Freeman, of course, which was his very first con. And he was like, oh, I was messing with him the whole time. He's like, what to expect? I'm like, you're probably gonna die. I can't believe they threw you into this, man. There's so many people here. I mean, like, really, they should have started with like a 4-person con. Really, that's how far behind. No, but we had a great time, and Scott loved it, and they loved Scott, and it turned out it was great. But we were really nervous because it's always nerve-wracking to premiere something that you worked on in front of. It turned out like something like 4,000 people, right? 5,000. Yeah, right. And there was like, and I'm not even going to go into detail about the fire drill that broke it up, and everyone still came. I mean, it was a disaster. But the premiere itself, once we got off the ground, went great. We were so relieved. But right before this premiere, and I'm already shaking in my boots at the prospect of premiering something in front of so many people and thinking if they hate it, they're going to kill us all. We're going to put all of our heads on pikes and just march them down the dealer's room. And be like, oh, we're donating J. Michael Tatum's severed head to charity. But on the way to the panel, I'm like, okay. Oh, phone's ringing. Hello? It's the brand manager for Black Butler that we had finished recording about 3 months prior. And she says, hey, by the way, they just announced you as Sebastian. I'm like, oh, you have killed me! I'm going to die the Italian way or the Black Butler way here today at this con in Baltimore. I didn't want to die like that. So I was just nervous as hell. But the Italian premiere went beautifully. Everyone loved it. It was enormously supportive and have been ever since. And yes, you are crazy, but we freaking love your brand of crazy. Bring it. We love it. We thrive on it. So I'm in my autograph signing session, my last one of this con, and this little girl, maybe 10 years old, if she's a day, comes through my line with her mother. Who's this tall, beautiful woman, and the girl comes up with a Black Butler wall scroll. And she puts it down, and she's got a little note pinned to it with what she wants me to write, and here's how to spell her name, and she has a little paint pen that she's shaking up and showing me how to use. I mean, she is prepared. And the whole time she's like, oh my God, you're J. Michael Tatum, I'm so happy to meet you. You're like my favorite voice actor in the entire world. And I heard that you're going to be playing Sebastian, who's like my favorite character in Horrocks, and my favorite anime in the entire world, and you're my favorite voice actor in the entire world. And I mentioned that Black Butler's my favorite show in the world, and I usually play Sebastian because you're my favorite voice actor in the entire world. And oh my God, I can't wait to hear it because it's really amazing. You better not fuck it up. And the best part was her mom standing behind her just going, oh, you better not, because I'm going to deal with this. So that was kind of a freaky fan moment. I have a very high threshold for freaky, really, because I'm such a uniquely odd person myself, so I'm usually like someone does something. I mean, like, if someone were to give me their, the tail they were born with in a jar, made into a necklace, I might be like, well, thank you, but I can't accept this in good conscience. How am I going to get this past TFA? I don't know. What is this? It's a tail. It's a tail. Don't ask. Let's see. Someone who hasn't asked a question. You, Homestuck in the back.
This is kind of unrelated, but I guess it's related to you. Who is your favorite doctor and or companion and why?
Okay, first of all, it's Doctor Who. It's related. I'm a Doctor Who fanboy, and I have been, right? It's hard picking a favorite because we're talking about 11 different people that have played the Doctor, but they're all the same character, really, when you get down to it. But I think I grew up with Tom Baker. He was my first Doctor, and he's a remarkable personality. He will be the first one to tell you that is not acting, that's just Tom being Tom. He's an alien creature sent to this planet to just bungle around and make people go, And we need people like that. He is a genuine eccentric, and I hope to be him when I grow up one day. But he was my first Doctor, and you always remember your first Doctor, and I was always going to be a big Tom Baker section of my heart. However, later on, when I went back and watched all the old stuff, and I have, by the way, every single thing of Doctor Who that's ever been released. And yes, I have bought it. To hell with pirates. The Doctor fights pirates. Everyone's like, what? Yeah, sorry, I got serious for a second there. My favorite Doctor, because I think he was the most important to the franchise, was Patrick Troughton, the second Doctor. The reason I say that is because you have to understand, William Hartnell, for Billy, who was the first Doctor, was delightful. He was the Doctor. At the time he was playing the role, they had no concept that there would be this thing called regeneration that would allow other actors to take up the mantle of the character and bring it on, and 50 years later, still be doing the show. It was just a sci-fi thing. Well, Billy was kind of a curmudgeonly old man. He didn't like the sci-fi angle so much, so he liked the time-traveling costume dramas. That was his thing, right? And by the end of his run, he was a senior member of staff, so what Billy wanted, Billy got. When health reasons caused him to not be able to resume his contract, sadly, the writers were like, wow, God, we have such a good thing. They thought, then Regeneration was born, and they decided, well, you know what, we're going to get a completely different actor. We're going to get Pat Troughton to come in and play this role, and he's going to do whatever he wants with it because it's going to be a different thing. He's an alien, so we can do this. We have this freedom. And Pat was the kind of guy who's a big kid. Again, he's like an Isaac or an Okabe. That's just who he was. And he approached the role in such a way that he encouraged the sci-fi angle. He loved the monsters, he loved all of it. So he told me, he's like a big kid going, oh yes, let's go, let's fight Ice Warriors, let's fight the abominable snowman, let's do all of it. But he was so weird, and whereas Patrick Troughton had always been sort of, patrician and old and very the sort of tetchy old grandfather. They used to call him Old Grumpy. They called him like terrifying Father Christmas, which is very appropriate, and it's a very special Doctor for that reason. Pat Troughton, on the other hand, whereas Billy Hartnell is like everyone's angry grandfather, Pat Troughton is like the crazy uncle who shows up to birthday parties and gives the children wildly inappropriate gifts. Like, he was that guy. He was always in these baggy clothes, and he was always befuddled, but a genius, and always knew deep down what was going on. And he had some of the best companions. So if you haven't gone back and watched some of the old stuff, I really encourage you to watch the Pat Troughton era, because sadly, many of them are lost, because the BBC was not very far-sighted and destroyed many of them, but quite a few, enough to get a flavor of the man and his take on the role survive, and I encourage you to watch them. My favorite companions, well, there's several of them. I love Jamie. Jack's not a companion, screw you. You love him for other reasons. I love him for other reasons. Jack's not the Doctor's companion, Jack's my companion. Met John Barrowman once, he liked my arms. Validation. Jamie was Pat Troughton's, he was his Scottish Highlander, very pretty boy, and a kilt. 10 minutes. Awesome, 10 minutes. God, I ramble. Sarah Jane is amazing. May she rest in peace. The universe is decidedly less awesome now that she's no longer with us. Ace. Love Ace. Love Rose. Love Donna. Oh my God, I love Donna. Donna's probably my favorite of the new Doctor companions, because I love that dynamic between the two of them. She was like the frustrated older sister. It's great. Thank you for bringing up the Doctor. Very, very close to my heart. I love the Doctor. Let's see. You have a question. And will it fit me? Will I rip it in twain?
Just getting more scenes that way.
Sebastian, I order you to help me put this on. Can I just say that is enormously liberating to say? I get it now. I get it. It's like Scar trying to dress up for prom. Am I? of like, I feel like Alice in Wonderland and I just ate the mushroom. But my clothes didn't follow, so I'm like, whoop. Oh, eat your vegetables. This is ridiculous. Wait, can I do what you did? Like a little Bugs Bunny, like conductor. This is hard to do. I'm like, hello everyone, how are you? Let's see, oh yes, you in the back. Oh, well, I'll get to you next. Whiner.
Since you already told us what couple you like in Black Belt, which couple you like in Hetalia?
Friends and everyone. Couple? Couple? No. France doesn't play that. France and monogamy is like military and intelligence. No, okay, that's very rude. No. I love France and UK. What's that? Someone called it Fruc? Fruck? Oh, that doesn't sound terrible, does it? You, front row. Tell me a knock-knock joke. And... who's there? Canada who? Oh! I just got back from Canada last weekend in Montreal, where most of them very, very French, and a very special kind of French. It is really weird that a bunch of French people are like, do the French laugh, asshole. I love it, it was great, Grell, you have a question there.
What was the strangest request that you ever got from a fan?
What?
What was the strangest request that you ever got from a fan?
Strangest request I ever got from a fan. Nothing really comes to mind. I did have someone wanted me to sign their corset once, but it wasn't at a con. It was, but it wasn't Black Butler related, thank God, because this woman should not have been wearing a corset. She was like 100 years old. Right. She looked like one of the witches from Beastmaster. God love her, she was very sweet, but they were like, oh, honey, dress your age. You need a bonnet. And she came, she's very weird about it. She and this other voice actor, whose name I will leave out of this in case he doesn't want me to tell this story about him. But like, she came up and she was like smoking a Virginia Slim and trying to walk like this in this corset that was just crushing her insides. And she, like, this corset was specially made, and she was like, she handed us a black pen, a black paint pen rather, to sign it, even though the corset was black. And she's like, oh, I've gotten all sorts of people to sign this, but I'm the only one that knows. Where would you like me? Oh, honey, anywhere. So we each take the pen and we're on our knees signing. And she is really getting into it, let me just say. She's kind of like, the hair's coming down, and she's lit the cigarette, and the whole thing. She's just pulling a complete Cruella de Vil. And she gets so into it that suddenly she farts. It's like, oh yeah, you boys are so good at what you do. We're both like... We cannot laugh at those. Okay, there you go. Thank you, love. She's like, thank you. Without even owning the fart, she's like, thank you, and just walks off. Presumably to go check her pants. Yeah, that was weird. So fan gave me a fart. And you're a biscuit. Yes, you now, right? You, who was okay, your turn.
Time for one more.
Oh, time for one more?
One more.
Oh, then I suppose it's appropriate it should be you, my lord. All right, what's your question?
Okay. I am obsessed with Fractal. I'm completely and totally obsessed with Fractal.
Okay.
And none of my friends will watch it. What do I do? Wow.
Make them. Tell them there's yaoi in it. There's not, but they don't know. Tell them it's Fractale. No, it's a good show. You should totally watch it. It's like 11 episodes. It takes 4 hours of your life. Get cracking. Oh my God. You can watch it the time it takes you to put on that outfit. And you will be a better person for it. Fractal is really amazing. It's beautifully animated. Oh, then go to a store and get the DVD. What? Thank you. You really should. It's a good show. I'm saying if you don't like it, we can't be friends. But I mean, it's a really good show. It's a really interesting show. I love it. It's really great performances. Scott Freeman is one of my favorite characters I've ever gotten to write for in that show. His performance is magnificent. So please watch it if nothing else for that. All right. Wait, Sebastian, will you help me take off this coat? I order you to get this damn thing off me.
Slowly.
All right, that's it. All of you, thank you so much for coming. You've been magnificent. If I didn't get to answer your question, hey, there's always next year. Woo! Be safe. I have to run. Don't make mosh pits because I have to go to the bathroom to make a letter of the alphabet that is not the letter poop.
Please don't crowd them. We have to get them out of here. I'm sorry.